Mostly, we are living our lives at a subconscious level or an unconscious level. And we are responding to the incidents and circumstances of our life unconsciously. Our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our behaviors are happening automatically. And that is why we hardly have any freshness, any newness in our lives. We are primarily living monotonous lives. And these lives are based on the conditionings and the programmings of the past. So, my dear friends, in order to have vibrancy in our lives, in order to have joy in our lives, in order to have vitality in our lives, we must find out a way by which we can decondition our past, by which we can reprogram our minds. Now, how to do this? In order to do this, let's understand how the thought formation or how the processing of the thoughts takes place. Now, these immediate thoughts, these automatic thoughts, these unconscious thoughts, they are actually happening to us. We do not have any voluntary control over them. They are happening to us, and according to psychologists, they are happening at the level of the body, not at the level of brain. Our brain actually is an energy-saving device. It tries to conserve its energy. It tries to work only at a baseline level. And whenever it has to respond to a certain situation, it looks out for a familiar reaction in the past, and it picks up that reaction, and it allows the body to manifest itself. Let's say, in the past, we have been reacting with fear to certain situations of our life. Now, in a fresh situation, the brain will ask the body to react with fear. It will not come up with an innovative response, with an ingenuine, a fresh response. It will simply allow the body to react fearfully. It will ask the body to stay immobilized or to flee away from the situation, or it will paralyze the body altogether in that given situation. Now, suppose we have been avoiding the challenges in our life, then the brain allows the body to avoid the same challenges, to avoid the risk-taking in the present situation again. So, we must see that our brain is coming up with protective reflexes. It is coming up with protective responses. But these responses are in no way progressive in nature. They are in no way productive in nature. They are hardly enhancing the quality of our life. They are hardly augmenting the quality of our life. So what we need to do here is to look for some voluntary actions, some voluntary control over our thoughts and behaviors in a given situation. To do so, let us understand that over the years, we have conditioned ourselves for negativity. Now, the stumbling block is that ever since our childhood, we have been receiving negative messages, negative reinforcements from just about every corner. It could be the society around, our environment, our peers, our mentors, our parents. We have been receiving the negative conditioning from almost all the fronts. And because we have been putting more emphasis, we have been giving more duration, more time, and more importance to these negative thoughts and these negative behaviors, they have become locked inside our brains. They have got sealed into our brains. And now, whenever the brain has to pick up something, it finds it easy to pick up a negative emotion, a negative response to the present situation. So we have to find a way to make a changeover, to switch over from this negative reinforcement of the past, from this negative mindset of the past, and change over to a positive mentality. In order to do so, we just have to use the same formula, the same logic. We have to apply the same analogy. We have to leverage the same ideology as we did for the negative thoughts. As we imbibe the negatives inside us in the very similar manner, let's now consciously imbibe a positive mindset. Let's think of positive things. Let's start to think of the positive outputs to a certain situation. Let's start to have positive ideas and ask the positive questions about this particular situation. Let's look for the opportunities in this particular situation. Let's inculcate a positive mindset now. And once you do it, now your brain has a choice. It has a viable alternative to that negative mindset. You also have the positive thoughts floating inside. And there is every likelihood that in a given situation, the brain will now automatically pick up these positive thoughts in preference to the negative ones. So, my dear friends, this is one definitive way of doing so. But you'll say that it all sounds too philosophical, too theoretical. Give us some practical means of inculcating positivity in our minds. Here I would suggest that we should practice some visualization. By visualization, I mean that we should sit with our eyes closed, and it should be shut off from all the noises of outside. And now we should think of a positive outcome for a certain situation. We should invoke all our emotions. We should invoke all our senses in it. Now, for example, let's say if a student who is in his 12th standard, he aims to be a doctor, but that negative side of him, it is telling him that probably it's not his cup of tea. He'll not be able to make it. All his doubts and apprehension and anxieties are surfacing up over and over again. So while he sits down to visualize himself, he should fast track his life 6-7 years from now, and he should see himself seated in a doctor's cabin. He's wearing a white gown, he has a stethoscope around his neck, and he is giving advice and counsel to his patients. He can feel the stench of the medicaments and the pharmaceutical agents which are hanging in the hospital air. He can listen to the sounds of the various gadgets and machines which are there in a hospital setup. He can listen and overhear to the talk and the conversation between the ward boys and the nurses. So in a way, he is trying to see his outcomes at multiple levels, at multiple levels of his senses, and simultaneously. He should derive some satisfaction, that emotional satisfaction which comes from treating his patients. That means he is invoking his emotions as well. So the same exercise can be applied for anything, any genre, any profession in our life. And it would yield benefits beyond proportion to inculcate that positive mindset. Now that was one exercise. Another exercise which would help us to ingrain and inculcate a positive mindset in us is to start noticing your thoughts, to start noticing and paying attention to your emotions, to your senses, to your feelings in the now. And if you feel that they're taking your life downhill, they are not enhancing or improving the quality of your life, then you should change tracks. You should redirect your thoughts. You should channelize them now. You should make the necessary shift, but only what gets noticed can be redirected. So you must spend time once or twice or thrice a day. You should take out time rather, especially for this purpose, to examine your thoughts and your emotions. It could be while you are standing in a queue, waiting for your turn. You can weigh and consider your emotions at that point of time. Or you can select a special time, let's say at the end of the day, when you can do this exercise. Or when you are going for a walk by yourself, even at that time, you can analyze your thoughts. And all of them would help you in checking your thoughts. So my dear friends, that was my take on inculcating a positive mindset. And mind you, there will never be a day when you won't have negatives in your life. You'll have to struggle and fight with your negatives somehow. But always stay focused. Continue to zoom in and elaborate upon the positives in your life. And then you'll see that you'll build up that capacity to have a positive mentality and a positive frame of mind. And then you'll have the results and outcomes of your choice. So that was my take, friends. If you have some ideas about inculcating a positive mindset and to decondition your mind, then please do share it with us in the comments down under. If you've liked the video, please do share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. This is Dr. Deepak Arora signing off for the time being. And we meet next week again with another life-enhancing video. Thank you so much.